Well, Kat and Zola really know how to make us feel like we were all there with them in India. It was an incredible time. But we are having just as wonderful time here on Express as well, because we've still got Tony Leon in studio with us, and we are talking about his new book, The Accidental Ambassador. Now, before the break, you and I were sharing a lot of our memories about Argentina and laughing about a lot of the things that we remember. But I don't want to give too much about that away, because I want people to get this book. I want them to read it. For you writing it, what do you think makes your book so unique?
Well, it's an insider's account of what goes on behind embassy wars. Now, I'm not sure one's ever been written in recent times, at least in this country. But also, it's about transitions. You know, my personal transition, being leader of the DA, going out of that, and then, somewhat to my surprise, being offered a post by President Zuma from the other side of the aisle, and then crossing over the South Atlantic to that wondrous, extraordinary, exhausting, amazing, difficult, frustrating place called Argentina, and the two other countries, Paraguay and Uruguay, where I was the South African ambassador. And I really tried to do it in a lighter way, so that although there are hopefully some serious points there, because there's some serious stuff going on there and indeed here right now, I wanted people to just get a feel and a glimpse of what it's really like, from a personal point of view, from a political point of view, from a diplomatic point of view, and you know, how do you go from one country to another? And the one point I made, I think one of the chapters called that, if you want to appreciate your own country, go and live in another. So everything sounds a lot more exotic and glamorous on the other side. And there's a lot that's extraordinarily glamorous about Argentina. You know, beautiful people, amazing steaks, Malbec wines, great history. But there's an underside of that. And I also go into the underside, what's just below the surface. And we've got problems and issues and challenges and turbulent history here, which we, I think, spend too much time looking past. We need to look into the future. Argentina is almost entirely fixated on the past. And there's always a danger that you can, you know, instead of a famous politician said, instead of honoring the past, you can honor it, but you mustn't live in it. And I think they spend a lot of time living in the past. I think we spend sometimes in this country too much time looking back and not looking forward. So although this book is an amalgam of things, at the end I also say, stay in the future business. You know, just get out there, and Argentina, interestingly enough, was the 10th richest country in the world in the 1930s. And now it's got an economy smaller than South Africa's. Now, how that happened wasn't just an accident. It was a result of choosing bad policies, practicing bad politics, and some very odd economics. And we are on the cusp in South Africa. And I really want us to go ahead, go forward. I think we've got a lot of the right stuff in this country. We've got some wrong stuff as well. And we need to get on the fast track and not stay on the sort of, you know, on the dirt track.
Absolutely. Well, Evita Viceno says something very interesting at the back of the book. She says, as a fellow accidental ambassador, reading Tony Leon's adventures in the land of the original Evita reminded me that there are reasons to be grateful that we live in South Africa after all. And I think as South Africans, we need to remember that there are reasons to be grateful. And before we hear what those reasons are, Tony, we are giving away 5 copies of this book, The Accidental Ambassador, this morning. You could win one of 5 copies. All you have to do is SMS the word WIN to 33728. And of course, one of those could be yours. This is probably one of the best books that I've read in a very, very long time. And of course, we hope to be able to chat to you a little bit more. Everything that you want to know in terms of what we've talked about is in this book. Tony, thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thanks so much, Leanne. I appreciate it. And, you know, good luck. And you look amazing at this hour of the morning. One final thought before we move on. You know, the other thing about Argentina, its biggest shock, was you have dinner at 10 o'clock at night. So we'd kind of, you know, roll in from these evenings, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then, of course, because we were communicating with Pretoria, our head office, we had to be in the embassy at 8:15 in the morning. So you'd have these incredibly late nights, early morning starts, and most people in Argentina get to work at about 10 o'clock. We were there from 8, and you had these completely dislocated days and nights. But of course, you know about that because you start so early.
We know all about that here in Expresso, so that's why you fit in so well.
Well, I'm used to it.
You're part of the family. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Hopefully, we are going to catch up with you a little bit more. It's The Accidental Ambassador. We're giving away 5 of these copies. SMS WIN to 33728, your name and your city. We'll be right back after the break.